Installation of the OutsideView WEB Webstation component. The Webstation is a tool for administrators to, while still offline and separate from a web server, to create web session definition files and test them. First step is let's install it. I am going to be installing OutsideView version 1.3. This folder is essentially a CD image. There is an installation guide package with the CD, but I'm going to take you through those steps today. There is a Webstation on the CD, and if you're not going to write or store that information, it will run just fine. However, we're going to install it onto a local workstation. So we have gone to the install folder, now Webstation. We have a number of different tools for installing, like jar files, which you would use in an OSS environment like ITP or a Unix environment like ITP. We have zip files, we have binary files. Because this is a Windows workstation, I'm going to hit the Webstation executable. The Install Shield wizard fires up and seeks oldest to newest for an appropriate Java environment. On my machine, it'll find the 1.5 Java. Then it will initialize the installer. And we have this dialog. To do the installation, I go next. I accept the terms of the license agreement. I say where to put it, and for my purposes today, I'm going to place it on the Webstation. Gives me a summary information and begins what is essentially a copy operation. I will pause the recorder. Well, shoot, it's happening so fast, we'll just let it run. I was going to pause it. When done, we merely hit finish. At this point, under Start, All Programs, OutsideView Web Webstation, we have the administrative Webstation. When first firing it up, we have some blocks, active content, there may be security messaging. I will say always trust content from Crystal Point. These are signed applets. And this is our view into the administrative Webstation. Home point, tutorial information, the deployment director, which is where you create session files and the like, reports where you can do metering of the usage of OVWeb, and other advanced resources. What we're going to do is a quick run through the administrative Webstation just to create a terminal session. We will add one. We'll give it the name 6530 plain. Tunneling and so on will be covered in a later module. We are doing the nonstop 6530 emulation. We will be speaking to, in this particular environment, s72k.cp.crystalpoint.com, port 23, and the service will be tackle. That could be left blank. The session window could be embedded within the browser. In this instance, I am going to have it be in its own window with a title of 6530 plain with administrator level menuing and capabilities. We have actually pretty much completed the definition of the session. We've given that to the host, so now we can test run this session by configuring it. We download an applet, we fire up the connection to that host system. You'll notice that we have the administrative capabilities where we can set what end users are allowed to have control of in terms of preferences. Can the end user set their own colors, define whether or not to have hotspots? Can they, what can they do? I'm going to view our toolbar, view the terminal keyboard, which I can lock to the side of the screen. Missed it. I'm going to go over here and set up for instance, colors. I'm just going to invert them in this case. Okay. Here's my session screen. And to save this information, I go back here and say save and exit the session. So I'm saving the configuration I've done and the session itself plus the additional configuration steps. What browsers am I going to run within? I might be in Internet Explorer, I might be Netscape, Firefox, Opera, whatever. Then over here I will actually save my session definition file, which, because this is Sun Java environment, has saved to my documents and settings. OutsideView Web upload session. It's written session name.html, which is a session definition file. It is also written a 6530 plain.cpi, which is the configuration information file. And then to save the session within the administrative web station itself, I click on this as well. That's pretty much it. I now have defined and tested a session which I could push file transfer to a web server that had the OutsideView Web emulation module installed. That completes this portion of the demonstration.